Hello, everybody. It's Beat 'em Up Wrestling for our second night that we're trying this live broadcast. Today, we're talking about SummerSlam.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. It was actually good.
it was really good. We stepped into the Thunderdome, and I was
Thunder.
very, very surprised. I think this year's SummerSlam definitely way better than WrestleMania, which doesn't really happen all the time. You know, WrestleMania is the top show. So this was really awesome to see. So we're just gonna go right off with the kickoff.
Yeah.
So the
United
kick,
States champion Apollo Crews versus MVP. Just piggyback really quick off of what you said. I think WrestleMania was a misstep because it was so early on when everything was going on, and it just sucked. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't their fault at all. But this definitely was a bounce back for them, and I'm happy for them. Like I said, I enjoy wrestling, and I want better for all the promotions. So this was definitely a nice way to kick off the show. This match was good. I liked it. It was okay. I didn't think, did it go that long? No, right? About
no,
15, not even 15 minutes, right?
yeah. For me, it was an average match. It's what you put on a kickoff.
Yeah.
I wish they would have done more with it because MVP is a legend and Apollo Crews is really good. And for it being a United States Championship match, it's just like it just makes the belt look a little bit cheaper than what it should. It kind of like takes away value. What got me from this kickoff though was this was Renee Young's final kickoff in WWE. So that part was sad, and there's not really much to say in this match. Apollo Crews wins, and we got to see Renee Young's final thing. So I think Renee Young's thing was a little bit more overshadowing the fact that we actually had a match in the kickoff.
Yeah, everybody was in their feels. Definitely. I loved Renee. I loved Renee when she first came on. She had something special when she started doing the small promos with Shinsuke that really started standing out. And then it just evolved into her having a commentary, spot. Then it went from the pay-per-views until a regular spot. What was Raw? She was on for a while, and she was somebody that was really cool to listen to. I just thought she brought a lot of personality. I'm looking forward to whatever endeavor she goes to next.
Yep.
So love Renee.
So we go into the SummerSlam, and it kicks off. The actual show actually starts off with Asuka versus Bayley. I thought this match was really good. We get to see more of that Bayley and Sasha dissension going on here a little bit. And I think that Asuka was on it tonight. I know we're going to talk a little bit more about her later because she did have two matches, but this was just phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely. I think Asuka was very, hard-hitting. It's a side of Asuka that we haven't seen before. Not before, but we haven't seen for a while. It just felt like this was she was hard hitting. She was on her spot. She brought aggression. She looked good. I mean, it was like the Asuka of NXT.
Yeah.
It felt super good. And she brought it in both matches, which we'll get into, but this match was amazing. A great way to kick off the show. Women brought it. The women are strong. We know that already in this promotion in NXT. Great way to kick off the SummerSlam.
Thanks, the 6-inch podcast. He said he loves the setup.
Thank you.
Yep. So this match, like you said, Asuka's Joshi style came shining through. This is the Asuka that we know we grew to love in NXT. And unfortunately for Asuka, Sasha was able to help Bayley retain her belts, and Asuka loses. So once she lost, did you get this feeling that Sasha's in trouble?
Automatically?
Yeah.
I mean, that was just that was the rumblings to begin with, since this whole crazy way of the way that she got the belt to begin with, I just didn't see, we'll get into it, but it was so unnecessary, the follow through in the story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know the story has to progress. I see the feud between, everybody knows Bayley and Sasha are going to go to this feud eventually. But man, just build up to it was kind of, I don't know, lacklustered a little bit. But I mean, it's not lackluster because Asuka was amazing. All the women were amazing in both matches. That's the point. But it's just the way it was arranged. It was kind of easy to tell what was going to happen. everybody kind of knew on social media what was going to play out, which was kind of sad too. But once again, do not discredit the fact that these women did an amazing match.
Yeah, I think though that we all wanted the Bayley Sasha rivalry to kick off for so long. We've been wanting that.
Yeah.
And WWE does the WWE thing that right when Sasha and Bayley like finally hit their characters and they are these amazing heels that you love to boo, they go and finally give us what we wanted, which is kind of like, no, you should have just kept it going. I loved how they had all the gold. I loved how they were like just getting under everybody's skin. I did hate how they took the belts from Asuka. I thought it could have been better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now like it's such a WWE. That's my takeaway from this. It's such a WWE thing for them to finally give us what we wanted when we're enjoying the opposite. You know, like I was really enjoying them being these two heels with all the gold, but we'll see where it goes from there. I'm super glad for Asuka for what's gonna come for her. But I as soon as this happened, I right away was like,
I'm okay with the storyline getting to this point again, as long as it's no stupid psychiatrist, no stupid kumbaya crap. Like they need to duke it out and they need to really bring it. Like they need to go all out together in a match. And it has to just build up to this amazing storytelling in the ring, just anger and frustration between two friends finally crumbling apart. And it's going to be something awesome to watch. It is.
Yeah.
If they do it right. Hopefully, I think they will, though. I think they will.
Yeah, I think that they've had so many trials at this that they have no choice but to do it right. And I think that Bayley is finally, in her heel run, is finally doing something that it fits her right. You know, because everybody fell in love with Bayley in NXT. Everybody would sing Bayley songs, and when she came to quote unquote the main roster, she kind of got lost. You know, we were all expecting her to be the female Cena, but they just never really booked her that way. She was always kind of like, it was always like Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha. Oh yeah, and Bayley.
Yeah.
And I think when she finally did this heel turn, she in the beginning it was a little miss. It was kind of like, okay, she's trying to force something, but she grew into her character, and I'm loving it. I'm loving just how she could get under your skin so quickly, and that just goes to prove, you know, that she grew into something that is, you know, you gotta give her props for it.
Yeah.
So next up, we get the Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza for the Raw Tag Team Championship.
Long sigh. It's hard to watch like what they do with Andrade, you know, like the potential he has. The storyline was stupid. Like I didn't really go for it. They could just literally just have beef with each other. With the whole like Zelina and the poison and being a camera and all this stuff, blah 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 blah. You know, and then she had her ring gear on. But like, wait, I have gone upstairs really quick during this, but Bianca didn't come out, right?
I don't remember her coming out.
Yeah, I don't think she did. Somebody correct us if we're wrong, but I'm pretty sure I didn't see. But it looked like she had ring gear on, Zelina. She didn't come out like usually in her like kind of like made up attire. Yeah. She kind of looked like she could have thrown down. So I thought something was at Escalade, but it didn't. And I don't know. I just feel bad for Andrade.
I think that the buildup could have been a lot different. This whole who poisoned, you know, like who put the poison in the coffee was kind of like, all right, this is kind of getting, I don't know. And I think even in the kickoff show, they made fun out of it. JBL was like, who leaves their coffee laying around, especially right now with COVID? So yeah, even if your show makes fun out of it, your own people make fun out of it. It was just a bad storyline. But yeah, the Street Profits retained the belts. We talked about how Andrade, when he was La Sombra with Rush and La Máscara, you know, legends in CMLL, such a great heel faction out there. And then Naito was able to take Los Ingobernables to Japan, and they're one of the biggest factions in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And just to see where Andrade is, I'm hoping that they do something, you know, with them. NXT is doing a very good thing with the luchadors down there, with the faction that they have going on. So maybe we'll see some changes for Andrade, because it did look like Andrade is not too happy with the fact that Selena had to poison somebody. They played that off in SmackDown, and I think that we might be seeing something going on, because I think maybe we're going to get I don't know, a face turn Andrade, or something going on with Andrade leaving Angel Garza and Selena Vega behind.
Yeah, he definitely is tired of Garza being a schmoozer, a smooth talker and stuff like that. Yeah, I could definitely see that.
So next we go to the no disqualification, loser leaves WWE match between Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. This
Sonya
match
came out amazing. Like,
this was my surprise match of the night. Like, I knew that they were gonna have this emotion because of what happened to them in real life. And I thought that Sonya shined so much in this match, and it's sad that, well, she ends up losing against Mandy Rose. But I think this was like one of her brightest moments in WWE, like this match. Like, I think she just brought it all. She did kind of resemble Broken Matt Hardy, so I don't know if she's going to be playing, if she returns and decides to come back. I don't know what's going on with her personally. I don't blame her if she doesn't come back. I just wish her the best. But if she does come back, she might be playing with some kind of dark personality now, because she was kind of like pulling at her hair. She was kind of like showing another side of Sonya Deville, and I thought that they're really good friends in real life, and I think that they both brought their best because to shine tonight.
Yeah, I think this is probably the biggest emotion-driven match for me. A lot of people like the Dominic match, which we'll get into, but this one was like real raw emotion. Like, this was unscripted. They went out there as friends. They probably spar and practice together as friends. The match was clean. They knew their spots, except for Mandy trying to pick up that table. But it's okay, girl. I would have done the same damn thing. That table looked heavy. She tried, but like, it was just, you could tell like there was emotion, and it was raw, and their hits were good, and they were selling it, and they looked good out there. And it's been the match that I've been waiting for between them for a very long time. The times we got the matches between them, they were just like stupid, and it was a couple of minutes. They weren't showing off their talents. This definitely highlighted what Mandy and Sonya could both do together in the ring, and they need to utilize Mandy more in that way. They need to utilize Sonya whenever she decides to come back. But very good match. Definitely was a highlight. Once again, this was definitely a good card on SummerSlam, and it continued. It had really good speed. Even the Street Profits match, it still had a really good tempo the whole way going up to this point, and then going into the next match.
Yeah. I about that table, I know she's getting a little bit of jokes being thrown at her, but people always say like, oh, wrestling is fake, wrestling is this. Things don't happen smoothly in real life, and if you actually think about it, and you're in a fight and you're trying to get a table up, sometimes things don't go the way you want them to. So don't give her too much heat about it.
No, nobody's gonna be Jason Momoa opening up the lawn chair with the one hand. It's nobody does that in real life except for probably that guy. Okay.
Yeah. But no, I thought that this match was awesome, and this was Mandy's best match, I think, too.
Yeah. Definitely.
So what did you feel about Otis coming out with the Money in the Bank briefcase that everybody forgets that he is Mr. Money in the Bank at the end?
Did not need to come out to the ring. He could have came out to the ramp as she went away to end the night. Sonya left outside. She left out like on the side. Kind of like how they do in AEW. Then sometimes they don't leave off the ramp. If you go to a live show, you actually just like exit it. You didn't see her leave, So that gave an opportunity for Manny to go to the ramp, leave out, look back, kind of look around to see where Sonya's at, kind of give it like a hindrance to that. And then Otis could have came behind her and hugged her. And that would have gave me more of a feeling, because he comes out, he's holding up the briefcase. Yeah, we all know, we know you had the briefcase. We didn't forget, okay, that you had the briefcase. But, it's, as you being my husband, I love when you give me props for things, but sometimes you just want the moment, and not saying he couldn't be out there. He could have been out there at the end. But, that moment in the ring by herself for a second, there was something special about that, the way she kind of hung on to, the ref holding up her hand and stuff like that. I just think that could have been like, Matthew, yo. It could have been definitely just kind of like, I don't know, just put it on and pause for a second.
Yeah.
That's one of the complaints. I don't have a problem with the Otis Mandy. A lot of people like the storyline. That's totally cool. Not hating on it anymore. Not going to give a crap. But I think it could have been done differently. I'm just tired of like when we had the main bouts and they would pan the camera to Cena, they would do something else in the back and they would take away from the women's. It didn't need to be done.
Well, what they did with Mickey James and
Yeah.
when they brought out Seth Rollins,
Yes.
they just did that this week
On Friday, right?
Was it? I think it was Monday.
Yeah. Was it Monday when they first introduced the Thunderdome? I thought it was. Was it? Maybe you're right. Maybe
no, yeah. Well, it was this week.
It was this week. It just happened, but yeah,
there's
you
so
were
much
totally
wrestling
right.
going on that. But yeah, I was with you on this. I think that so we have these two people that were best friends for a long time in their WWE career. You pretty much beat her, so now Sonya Deville is out of a job, according to the storyline. I wish there would have been a little bit more time for Mandy to actually kind of like show some emotion and not just, be happy and all that stuff. It's like,
yeah,
at that moment, I think that they should have just let them just be them and let their emotion shine. And I think it would have been even a bigger moment for both of them.
Let it breathe.
Yeah.
All right.
So then we go to the street fight, Dominic Mysterio versus Seth Rollins.
And Eddie Guerrero in spirit.
Yeah.
Poppy Guerrero was in spirit there. For what it's worth, like Dominic, he took a beating. He had a few spots. He had he frog splashed. I'm not saying I could do it better, but then again, I never knew I could do a surprise roll up. So like, I'm just saying, he could have done a little more oomph to the frog splash. But the match, it went pretty long. I thought it went just a little bit too long. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about it being on a SummerSlam card, knowing that it kind of comes like, from not saying nepotism, but there's a lot of people on the roster that I probably would have liked to see. Shinsuke and Cesaro having the belts, things like that. That would have been more utilized properly. He could have been next week, especially since it's payback. It would have made sense if he paid back what happened to his dad. You know what I mean? Like for me, that made more sense. But the kid did good. I mean, I don't know how it would be him at his age on, a platform like that. Thank God they didn't have like live audience. Maybe it wouldn't have been as smooth as it was, because surprisingly, it wasn't a horrible match. Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to stick to the fact that when Mommy Mysterio came out, she was probably the most threatening person out there, because like everything stopped. Yeah. She stepped on the ramp.
I like this match. I like storytelling being told. I do agree that it went a little too long. Yeah. But this is long-term storytelling. Like, there's so much history with Dominic and WWE, and it goes back to the Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio. And the fact, I like, even before when the match started, I was like, man, it'll be cool if they do something for Eddie Guerrero. And when he did that frog splash the first time, I popped. I felt like, oh my God, here we go. I just needed him to do the little.
Yeah, if you would have done that, I would have been like, okay, Dominic, maybe I'll warm up to you.
But
give him time. Give him time.
I kind of still wish that he would have came out with the lucha mask to kind of keep the Rey Mysterio thing going on. But it's his choice if he doesn't feel comfortable wrestling with the lucha mask, or I don't know if they have any plans for Rey Mysterio to pass down the mask. I don't know. But no, I thought that this was good for a good debut for him. And
he could even give him the mask that he wore when the whole eye thing happened. He could have gave him that mask. Like, it's time for you to.
Oh my God!
It's time for you to uphold my honor. I trust you, Dominic. No matter the outcome, win or lose, it's time for you to go out there and be like the next, Mysterio Jr. or whatever.
It would have been. It would have been crazy if it would have had they could have put a little bit of blood on it. It
would have been hardcore. It would have been hardcore. Like, then I would have been like, okay, let's go. It would have been like all for it. Yeah. But I just. Like I said, I'm not a huge Mysterio fan, like that's the thing, like, like coming from like La Parca, and like Chavo and Guerrero, like whatever, Kenny.
Where
are your eyebrows?
I like Rey Mysterio, so I'm in shock that you would say you're not a big fan.
I'm just not. I'm not. Like, I don't know. I wasn't like, I was more like Chavo and like, you know what I mean? Like, that was my thing growing up. So like, I wasn't exposed as much to Ray, and maybe that's the thing though. Like, I La Parca and stuff like that. Like, I'm not. I didn't get that much of him. So like, when I see him, I still think of Eddie, and I don't know if I just feel crushed. You know what I mean? Like, because I want Eddie here. So like, I think it would have made something more if he would have had the mask, or like it would have been some sort of passage, because then I would have felt like, oh, familia. You know what I mean? Like, it would have made a little more for me, and I would have had that connection. So my emotions would have been more invested. Because right now I'm just like,
well,
he'll be okay.
I'm a lucha mark, and I'm
yeah, I know.
I'm always happy to see the next lineage passing down. I do agree that they could have built more for Dominic, maybe put him on NXT for a bit, and there could have been some other stuff. But hey, I think they put him on the big stage and he answered. He did.
Yeah,
he
for
did
what it's worth, he did good. I don't know how he reacted to it.
It could have been a train wreck.
Yeah,
but,
and it wasn't.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
So now we move on to the most talked about match of the night, the Raw Women's Championship match between Asuka versus Sasha Banks.
Everybody knew this was going to happen. Come on now.
Yeah, after I saw the whole results of the Bailey, I was like, yeah, Sasha's losing her belt.
Not even just that, when the card was announced.
Yeah, and they said that Sasha was going to be last. Because I was like, whoever goes first, is probably going to retain. Even though they were trying to sell it like, well, the second person that faces them, Asuka's going to be already tired and injured.
She came in smoking still, though. The girl was on fire. She wasn't even on fumes yet.
Yeah. It's kind of like sad, the fact that they keep booking Sasha to lose every title defense in the singles career. She wins the belt, and right at her first defense, she always loses it. And then the other thing that got me from this match is when Asuka got her on the Asuka lock, and she was screaming for Bailey. I was like, oh, that's kind of. And then when Corey and Michael Cole were like, oh, this is Bailey's fault. How is this Bailey's fault? This is supposed to be a one-on-one match. Like they're trying to sell this whole thing that, oh, Bailey failed her, but Bailey got clocked in the face. And Asuka was smart. She took her to the other side of the ring. Bailey was climbing up, and there's not much she can do. It wasn't a handicap match.
Or you could say a real champion comes out solo.
Yeah.
Asuka didn't have anybody in her corner.
Yeah.
So, if you can't do it on your own, then you can't do it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I guess
I'm an Asuka. I'm an Asuka mark for her.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, Asuka took the night tonight. She did 2 really good matches.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're gonna see the fallout of this, and I think we'll see what holds for the future for Bailey and Sasha. I think that the end of their friendship is coming, and maybe Bailey's reign is coming to an end too.
Yeah, the end is nigh.
So now we move on to the WWE Championship match between Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton.
That's all I got.
Yeah. See, this match for me was kind of like the Karrion Kross and Keith Lee, where it's more about storytelling. It's not about in-ring action. I know that nowadays everybody wants the in-ring action, the spots, the false finishes. I mean, there wasn't even a finisher. Didn't ever hit. Like there was no RKO, and there was no Drew McIntyre's Claymore. Thank you.
There you go.
I know he missed the Claymore.
Yeah.
But a finisher never hit in this match, so it was a different way, and I'm okay with it because not every match needs to be a Kenny Okada match where there's 5 finishers and kickouts at 2.5s, and so this was more storytelling based. Drew McIntyre coming and standing up for the legends that Randy Orton has killed.
That's what he was doing? That was it's all about? Okay.
Yeah, and I mean that's why he picks up the belt at the end and he says, this does not belong to you and this does not belong to me. It belongs to everybody.
Yes. Okay. I don't know. I kind of checked out a little bit this match. So a little, I mean, I like Drew. I really do. I don't know. I don't know where they're going to go with him as far as storytelling because we get a bigger surprise in the next match.
Yeah, but between matches, we find out that Keith Lee's coming to Raw. So maybe Drew has a target on his back now. And he'll be basking in the glory.
I mean, a lot of people are hoping for that. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what the cards hold. I still kind of want a Big E run, though.
If anybody deserves that first, it's Big E.
Yeah.
It really is.
Because I think Kofi's supposed to come back. So it's like they made this big deal about Big E going singles, and they didn't do anything with him. So we'll see.
Damn, now that you mentioned it, I got super sad now.
Yeah, like I was
I
super
got like
happy.
super sad.
I
I
was
was like,
happy,
oh, not my
but
Biggie.
yeah, Biggie. I mean, he's been there since AJ Lee. Like he and ever since then, everybody was like, oh, you know, he's championship material. He's gonna be main eventing WrestleMania one day.
Damn, since you
And
said it like that with AJ Lee, like it made
yeah,
me think, and I had to stop right now. That's 7 years, 8 years.
2014, 2013, yeah, 7 years. He's going on a decade. Don't make this be another Kofi where you wait over a decade for him to finally get that gold. So we'll see where Big E's plans are. Don't put him back in tag team division. He needs to go
No,
single.
no, that boy is such a clean wrestler. He is so powerful. Don't do that to him.
Yep. So we get to the main event: Braun Strowman versus The Fiend, Bray Wyatt.
I'm very grateful for the Thunderdome for 2 reasons. One, it gets rid of the red light. 2, his entrance looked amazing for the Fiend.
Yeah.
It was one of those like concert entrances that like it got you hyped. Like it took his character to another level again. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like it just, I don't know. It gave you back to the like Fireflies with the lights and the cameras and the fans, and made you feel like that energy again when he was just regular Bray Wyatt. You know, yeah, no, I loved it. I'm excited for that. The match was surprisingly, it went well. I thought it was pretty. I think it's Braun's, like, and I'm not a big Braun fan. I think it's one of his better matches. I'm just gonna say it. So the Fiend wins. I was shocked. I didn't think it was gonna happen. I was super happy for it. And then I don't know if you want to go ahead and say who shows up.
No, well, I want to talk a little bit about the match.
Okay.
I think that this was great storytelling. Braun was good up until the moment when they teamed him up with Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. I think for me at that moment, it kind of messed him up a little bit, like where they were going with his character. I haven't really gone behind him since this whole thing. I did not like the swamp match. I know a lot of people are gonna probably like give me some hate for that. I thought that was like one of the worst theatrical matches that they had, and I think that that's where WWE jumped the shark with this theatrical matches, because the Boneyard match was so good, and then the Cena and Bray Wyatt match. Well, it wasn't really a match, but the whole thing that they did with Cena and Bray Wyatt was really good too. And I think it's just Braun Strowman's not an actor, because when they put him
with people that act,
like how they did. I can't. I'm like blanking on names right now.
Daniel Bryan was good.
No, yeah.
Alexa. Yeah, Bliss was good.
When they put him with Bliss, the way that Bliss, like, she's an actress.
Smack the hell out of Braun Strowman.
She's gonna be Hollywood Bliss pretty soon. I'm pretty sure she's gonna end up doing movies and following the Cena and the Rock path. She could act. And when Braun was just standing there, like, he killed that whole thing. He was just breathing heavily, making grunting noises, looking really weird. Like, so, and Bray Wyatt is a really good actor too, so he sells that stuff. So I think Braun Strowman just can't be around any theatricals like that. And I think it was a disservice for him in that point. I don't think the Fiend should have ever lost the belt. I can't believe Goldberg actually beat him for the belt. So I thought this match was really good. I thought that it made the Fiend look strong as hell again. It built him back up to be the monster that he is. When Braun Strowman unveiled the wood underneath the ring, and he took Sister Abigail's on the wood, and you saw Braun Strowman actually bruise up on the head. So I thought that this was a really good climax to their match. Yeah, so the Fiend is champion, and we get the big dog. Now, Roman Reigns, this whole quarantine has been working out.
He's huge.
He looked amazing. Yeah, like his physique looked amazing. I don't know if he's coming as a heel though. Is he an in-betweener? Is he a heel?
That's what I was gonna stop you with. So Braun was supposed to be a good guy, right? Because the Fiend's supposed to naturally be a bad guy, right? But he's like an in-betweener. You really don't not like the Fiend. You kind of cheer for him in a weird way. You know what I mean? So once again, I feel like they're setting up Roman to fail, because he attacked somebody that everybody wanted
Yeah.
right now again.
Yeah.
So the man's going to go out there and give it his 100 as much as he possibly can, and he's going to get shatted on because, because he came in at the wrong time. And that's like the story with Roman Reigns. Like, you know, like, and the thing is, like, I gave Cena a lot of slack. I gave him a lot of crap because we were force feeding Cena to everybody. And then they did the same thing to Roman. And then I realized when Cena was gone, I kind of missed him a little bit because he had whatever. Oh my God. I almost want to punch Kenny Omega in the face. Oh my God, if you ever saw that. Yeah. Okay. But no, seriously, like, when Cena was gone, he has this really easy way of delivering promos, and they're usually original. It's not like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, thank you, Adrian.
Yeah.
Roman can totally get it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Roman looked amazing today.
He looked amazing, and I'm just worried once again that he's just, the storyline's gonna fall flat. Nobody's gonna want him to be champ. No one's gonna want him to do this because he came in at the wrong time. But when is the right time for this guy? Like, when can we say that he's been gone? He's been trying his hardest. You know, he's gotten a little better on the mic when he was trying before he left out. He came back and overcame a lot of personal obstacles, which in itself was a story.
Yep.
You know, the story that, you know, destroyed the Shield was insane. You know, what they were making people say and do at that time period. And he still tried to overcome everything when he came back. And it still fell flat when you're shoving dog food in his face.
Yeah,
like,
I hate it.
Man.
I hate it that keep Baron Corbin away from Roman Reigns.
Can you just give him a moment to try? Just a regular smooth path that everybody else has. Give him one chance to kind of live his path, see how he does. And if he fails, then we can say he failed. But don't just don't tool him off.
I don't know. I think this was such a great entrance for him.
It is, but it's going to be mixed. It's going to be mixed.
But you know who is going to get mixed to. It's the same middle-aged dudes that hate everything. They're always crapping on everybody's favorite. They're the ones that are chanting Cena sucks, and not because they're doing it for you know, just to follow with the kayfabe, but they really hate Cena just because Cena is the kid's favorite and women like him. So the same thing with Roman Reigns. Kid like him and women like him, but they don't like me. Screw him. So it's that whole jealousy thing. But
it's going to work so good with Bray because Roman started acting.
Yeah,
he can do this. It's going to be good. Like, give him a chance, guys. Don't hurt him yet.
He might not even go against the Fiend yet.
No, he might.
Because he beat the crap out of Braun Strowman and said, "I made you." So he might be the next rivalry for Braun. They might be working with something with the Fiend. I don't know what they're going to be doing. Maybe maybe Roman will have a slow build up to the championship, because I do think he deserves the championship.
Yeah.
Because he vacated his belt due to that horrible thing that happened to him that he was able to come back from, and hopefully that's in his past and he doesn't have to deal with that ever again. And I was super excited to see Roman Reigns. He looked phenomenal. His new shirt wrecked everybody. I just think it fits. And if he comes back as a heel or an in-betweener, where he's just like, I'm not here to be Mr. Nice Guy, it'll work because there's no audience right now, so he doesn't have to play to the audience. He could just come out and just be like, I'm going to dominate and show that this is my house. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, or he could even showcase the fact that things happened out of his like reach. He couldn't control what happened to him. He couldn't control what happened to the world. And now he's just fed up and tired, and he wants what's his because he never got it. Yep. He never really got a chance. So, like, he has so much to play on. I hope the best for him. I hope he stays healthy and does a nice run and everything works out perfectly fine for him, because he's a big asset to the company too. You know, so I'm looking forward to it. I might tune in to see what's going on. I'm looking forward to seeing what Bray is going to do with him now, you know? So, like, I just want to see some storytelling going on. We're big fans of storytelling, even if it's like small, slow builds. Yep. But yeah, SummerSlam really got me hyped for WWE. So I really appreciate that. For everybody out there that, you know, knows that we do review AEW. We are, you know, AEW fans. Yes, we watch other promotions. We watch New Japan. We watched a bunch of Beyond Wrestling, GCW today. So much stuff that we were watching. Black Label, like everybody did amazing wrestling this weekend. But yeah, no,
Shout out to Warrior Wrestling.
Warrior Wrestling. If you're in the Chicagoland area, get on that.
Yep.
Get in it.
Yeah, it's just enjoy wrestling. Don't do that brand loyalty stuff,
Yeah.
because you end up missing out on amazing talent. You end up missing out on some of the we are living in an age where wrestling is more about athletics than it has ever been, and people are doing some amazing stuff in ring. So just go ahead and enjoy it. Doesn't matter what brand you like, just enjoy it.
Yep.
So
I agree.
All right. So you want to say anything? Any closing remarks?
Closing remarks. We have our pro wrestling unboxing video coming out. We have another different category videos that should be coming out hopefully next week. And we might be putting together a pretty nice big discussion with some fellow friends about wrestling. But yeah, we'll be back to talk more next week after AEW's out on Thursday, and then we have Payback. So you'll be seeing a little bit more of us next week. But until then, anything for you?
No, just
Follow
be safe.
us.
Be safe. Yeah, follow Beat 'em Up Wrestling, and enjoy wrestling. I think we have one last comment. Rey Mysterio is the most famous luchador worldwide in the last 24 years. That he is. He has inspired people.
I can't even debate that.
No, yeah. Rey Mysterio's influence can be followed in England, Japan, Mexico, all over the world. Rey Mysterio is one of the most influential luchadors.
Not just men wrestling, but women wrestling. Taya will go out there and say that. Like, you know, like everybody would go out there and say it. It's just like, there's so many luchadors out there that have inspired women wrestling to get up there and be high flyers. And like Io, right?
Yep, Io has mentioned many times Rey Mysterio is one of her favorites.
Yeah, so like I said, I just wasn't brought up in the period, and I'm not bashing on Rey because he's talented, and anybody that can influence the next generation of wrestlers, I'm all for.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. When I was a kid, and I mean, the cruiserweights is what got me into American wrestling. I was a big luchador, and Rey Mysterio was one of my favorites. La Parca, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, Malenko, like. That's what got me into American wrestling, and then little by little, I evolved into liking, the big bruiserweights and the slow storytelling, in-ring storytelling. But with that, we bid you all a good night. I hope you guys enjoyed SummerSlam as much as we did, and we will be back with a Thunderdome Raw tomorrow and Keith Lee.
Yeah.